Hey YouTube, what's going on? Snowflarky's Emos here with another Master Duel deck profile. Today I'm bringing my Prediction Princess Guard Dog build. So Prediction Princess, if you've been around on the channel, is one of my favorite archetypes. I really like flip effect monsters, and so this archetype that is designed around flipping monsters is pretty cool, especially since it can be used with so many generic flip effect monsters. And this is just a new build I've been playing on Master Duel where I'm finally taking advantage of Guard Dog. An incredibly powerful win con tool that this deck can have. It's just a flip effect that says your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. So essentially in this build, if we can get Guard Dog set up and then flip it right at the start of our opponent's turn and, just blank special summoning for their entire turn, they're not going to be in a good spot. Now this deck is a lot better in TCG because the new Prediction Princess Terra Traith Ritual helps this build out a lot, but I've got a build that's solid enough in here, and I'll go over it now, and then I can give an update when when that new stuff comes out. So with that said, let's start looking at the cards. Starting off with our monsters, I am playing 3 copies of Crawler Dendrite. This card is just in here because of this flip effect. You can send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. This is very important because, everything in here is about accessing Guard Dog. So if we don't have Guard Dog, we want to get that in the grave so that our Prediction Princess Terra Tray can bring Guard Dog back from the graveyard. So that's definitely what it's useful for. Otherwise, we can send a copy of Pot of the Forbidden if we have Guard Dog, Pot of the Forbidden being the other good target. So that's what it's in here for. Guard Dog, of course, our flip monster of choice. Your opponent cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you know how important special summoning is, and turning that off is just a huge end to most decks in the game. So, just unfairly shut your opponent out, but that's how you win Yu-Gi-Oh! Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Prediction Princess Coin Rama, the only other Prediction Princess name we're playing in the current build on Master Duel. Coin Rama is just a flip monster that says you can special summon a level 3 or higher flip monster from your hand or deck in face down defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except Prediction Princess monsters. So this card can pull Guard Dog out of the deck, it can pull Pot of the Forbidden out of the deck, and that's usually what it's going to do, just to set those up for a future turn. It is a good way to get into Guard Dog because if we got the ritual and a Coin Rama, we can set Coin Rama, flip Coin Rama up with the ritual monster. Coin Rama can go off, get us Guard Dog. Then when we pass on our opponent's turn, we'll have Guard Dog face down, ready to go. So Coin Rama, definitely a pretty solid card, and also searchable off of the ritual spell, which makes it a nice addition. Next up, as far as flip monsters go, I am playing 3 copies of Tindangle Jirelf. This one is kind of just like Dendrite. It's just another card to get us into Guard Dog, take a flip monster from our deck, accept Tindangle Jirelf, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So pretty cool. This one's got less attack, so you got to mind that because when you flip it face up, it's going to be into attack. But if you got Guard Dog up, they can't Utopia double you anyway, so not a big deal. But yeah, just a card that turbo, gets us whatever flip monster we're looking for. And for the last of Flip Monsters, I'm playing 2 copies of Path of Forbidden. This is a level 9 monster, which is nice because it can be the whole tribute for Prediction Princess Terra Tray. And when you flip it, you get to activate one of these effects, either draw 2 cards, return all spell and trap cards on the field to the hand, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, or look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All those are pretty good effects based on really powerful cards. And the option to pick one is, gives you lots of flexibility with what you're using this card for. You can flip it on your turn to draw extra cards. A lot of times you're just destroying all monsters your opponent controls, but that one is less relevant in this build because Guard Dog usually means they're not summoning monsters in the first place. This one where you look at your opponent's hand and they shuffle 1 card in there, if you exhaust your opponent out, you can get them kind of into a Yada lock with it, which is pretty cool, where they draw their 1 card for turn and then you immediately shuffle it back so they got nothing to do. So that is pretty cool. Just a good monster to have. Next, we're playing 3 of all the little incantations. We got Incantation Pencil Plume, which reveals a ritual monster in your hand to special summon both this card and an incantation from your deck. All of the incantations have a way to special summon them and an incantation from the deck, either by revealing a ritual monster or a ritual spell. And then, of course, if you summon this card from the deck, it gains a different effect. Pencil Plume, you target a ritual monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So that's pretty cool. While these cards are on the field, also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck. So Pencil Plume is mainly one of our starters. You know, if we have this and a ritual monster in the hand, we can summon it to pull out one of the other incantations. We're also playing 3 Incantation Bookstone. Reveal a ritual spell in your hand. Special summon this card in an incantation. And if this one's special summoned from the deck, you can target a ritual spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Now, those second effects of Pencil Plume and Bookstone are not as useful in this, but that's alright. We want them to be the starters so that we can pull out either Candle or Talismandra. So we're playing 3 Incantation Candle. Reveal a ritual spell in your hand. Special summon this card and 1 Incantation monster from your deck except Candle. And of course, if this card's special summoned from the deck, you can add a ritual spell from the deck to your hand. So that's pretty nice. If we needed to get Prediction Ritual, we can add Prediction Ritual. And of course, Talismandra, reveal a ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card and incantation from the deck. And if this card is special summoned from the deck, you get to add a ritual monster. So you go into Talismandra if you're looking for a monster. You pull out Candle from the deck if you're looking for a spell. And that's basically how it goes. Whichever one you start with is going to be based on whichever one is sitting in your hand. You know, if you have a ritual monster, you need Pencil Plume or Talismandra. If you got the spell, you need Candle or Bookstone, and we just max out on all those copies to guarantee that happens. Because what we need to see every game is we need to see Prediction Princess Terratray on the field, and we need to see Guard Dog, either on the field or in our graveyard to be summoned. So both really good cards. And of course, the big name of the deck, Prediction Princess Terratray, the big ritual boss, can be ritual summoned with Prediction Ritual. And once per turn during the end phase, you can special summon a flip monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense position. So that's why it doesn't matter if we send Dog to the graveyard, because this card can just pull it right back, and we need this card anyway to get things going. And then, of course, during either player's turn, you can activate one of the following effects. Either target a face-down monster and flip it face up, or you can target a face-up monster and change it face down. We're mostly going to be flipping Guard Dog face up on our opponent's draw phase and, not let them do anything else, which is pretty neat. And that is it for the monsters. Going into the spells here, we are playing 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. Add a ritual spell from the deck to our hand, and add a ritual monster from the deck or graveyard whose name is mentioned on that ritual spell. This ritual spell, Prediction Ritual, does mention Prediction Princess Terratraith, so that card can grab this and Terratraith, so that's a plus, and the ritual stuff that we need. So a good card to have in here just because we really want to see that ritual. Next, I'm playing 3 Pot of Extravagance. In this deck, we're not extra deck summoning because all of our levels are all over the place, and we're not summoning a lot to make a good link board, especially since the incantations you can't special summon while they're on the field. So the extra deck is mostly just fodder for Extravagance. We're going to banish 6 of these extra deck cards face down to draw 1 card for every 3 banished. Do note that this means we don't want to use this and draw 2 cards in the same turn unless we are using this effect on our draw phase, just because Pot of Extravagance, you can't do any more drawing after it's been played, but not before. So you can flip Forbidden on your draw phase, draw 2 cards, draw into Extravagance, and then play to draw more cards. And that's pretty cool when that happens. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Prediction Ritual. Prediction Ritual, of course, is the ritual spell for Terratraith. You know, we need it to play it in order to summon Terratraith. Then we got to tribute off monsters whose levels equal 9 or more. What's nice about this card is during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Prediction Princess monster from the deck to your hand. That can be Terratraith if we need it, or if we don't, that can just be a Coin Rama to get it out of the deck, get things moving, so forth. And that is it for our spells. Next for the trap cards, I'm just playing 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. We have our win con here, setting up, Guard Dog, and we want Guard Dog effect to go off on our opponent's draw phase. So if they want to play something like Imperm or Forbidden Chalice or something to negate Guard Dog, we want to have Solemn Judgment just ready to go so that we can say no to that. And, that's especially protect our Terratraith setup because we want to keep doing that every one of our opponent's turns, flipping up Guard Dog. And so just a good card to protect us from the few outs our opponent will have once we're set up. We pay half our life points to negate a monster summon or a spell or trap card being activated. No big deal. We'll take that. And that is it for the main deck. Here's a quick replay to show the deck in action. I got a pretty solid setup here as long as this pre-prep doesn't get ashed because I got enough material to summon Prediction Princess and I've got the Guard Dog already and a Solemn Judgment on top of that is very nice. So we're going to start our play. We're going to play pre-prep. Our opponent does not have the Ash for it. So we're going to get both these cards. We're then going to be able to use Bookstone, reveal our ritual spell, summon it, and Candle. I grabbed Candle out of the deck because it's still enough stars for this to summon Terra Tray, and we want a second ritual because after we play this ritual, if we need another Terra Tray, we can banish this ritual from our graveyard to grab it. So it's easier to get the monster in this deck than it is the spell card. So when you have the option, you usually want to grab the spell. So here comes Terra Traith out on the field. Pretty nice. We're going to use the effect of Terra Traith to flip this Tin Dangle up. That can just get us Pot of the Forbidden out for our next follow-up turn. We are then going to set Solemn, and we are going to use Terra Traith's effect to special summon Guard Dog in face-down defense, which is pretty nice. So, right off the rip, we're going to flip Guard Dog. Guard Dog's effect is going to activate. Now our opponent cannot special summon this turn. And based on that, if they can't get going, they can't get going. They're just going to pass and give it back to us. We have enough damage here to go for a while. I'm going to use Prediction Ritual in the grave to add another Terra Traith to my hand just to be ready. I'm going to attack with Guard Dog. I'm going to attack with Terra Traith. That's 4,000 damage. Use Terra Traith's effect to flip Guard Dog face down. This is where if you had some generic Link 2s or whatnot, like Land Pharynchus, you could also just link these two off to get Guard Dog off the field if you don't want to burn Terra Traith's effect on flipping a monster face down like that. So something to note if you want to take the deck a little further. Terra Traith's effect, of course, at the end will special summon us a monster. We're going to put Pot of the Forbidden face down. During our draw phase again, we're just going to flip it back up. Our opponent can't special summon, and boom, there's the frustration. That'll get the scoop. Usually how a game ends is they'll scoop because, face it, most decks you can't special summon. What are you going to do? Nothing really. And that's the deck in action. So that is it for my Guard Dog Prediction Princess deck profile. Like I said, this deck gets a lot better when the new Prediction Princess tools will get entered in here because Terra Traith is the new ritual is very nice because it can flip both Guard Dog and Pot of the Forbidden right off the rip to be very disruptive to an opponent. And of course, just good stuff like that. So overall, I quite like this deck. It's quite fun. In its current state, it is very weak to something like Ash Blossom. You gotta be ready to Called by the Grave is definitely something I'm going to need to craft and add in this deck because we also don't like Max C just because you special summon enough things that they definitely draw the out most of the time. So just things like that to note. But overall, it's a pretty solid deck. Allows me to use a deck I like and have an ability to win against a decent amount of decks, and that's good enough for me. And so I appreciate you all checking it out. Love to know what you're doing with Prediction Princess. If you've found any other interesting flip monsters you like to use. It does seem like Guard Dog is just incredibly overpowered. But with that said, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for checking out the video.